Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. Um, I I have two assignments today. One is my overarching sermon, which I will get to. But first, I have a word for someone specific. I usually will not do this unless it's a elevation specific thing or a suggestion, but the Lord told me to do that. So if everybody else that's watching me will give me the grace for a few moments, I will say the word that I have for this person, and then I'll go into my general sermon. Uh, Hi, Pastor Burdick. I woke up last night and I'm very strange. So I fall asleep listening to some uh murder stuff, and then I always wake up listening to you or some other preacher. It ends up that way. And um, okay, so when I woke up, I my I was listening to Michael Todd last night in his uh he was having uh, prayer online, uh, I think through the week or something. And then as he was praying, when he finished praying for God to grant people wisdom, I heard God say, "Tell your pastor he's not alone." And I said, "Okay." So the Lord wants me to tell you, you're not alone. He He knows the weight of ministry is heavy, and he knows that you know that intrinsically you're not alone. You've got God and you've got the whole team of people. But sometimes, even in that, because um, um, when you're born with a different kind of mind, sometimes uh, the people around you may not understand you, but even in them not understanding you, they're with you. God's not only with you, but they're with you as well. And sometimes when God gives you new ideas or something new, you're like, they're not gonna understand me. How do I explain this? And he said he will illuminate. Just step forward. He will illuminate. Just step forward. You've got the God factor. Okay? So you're not alone. And you may feel alone because it feels so. How do I explain this? How do I explain what I'm seeing? All the craziness I'm seeing, or whatever. But he said he will illuminate. All you have to do is step forward. So says the word of the Lord. Okay. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Um my my sermon today is called the God Factor. And what the God factor is just the fact that we have to remember that God is with us wherever we go. And the God factor will and can open doors. It can do things that humans can't do. And a lot of people, say God's with me and all that stuff. And whatever, but they don't really understand the God factor. The go- Write this down if you have a paper, pen, or phone. The God factor is the awareness that God is with you. He will never leave you, and He will do things that are inexplainable. And you just have to understand the power of that God factor. It's amazing. Like, you think that you're alone. You think that you're alone as a single mom. You think you're alone as a person with a disability. You think you're alone. But the God factor means so much. And the fact that God can open doors that no man can open, can do things that no man can do. It's just absolutely amazing. And he's co- coming to a season that he will give, it's coming to a season where he will give you wisdom that you didn't ask for. He will give you um wells that you didn't dig, vineyards that you didn't plant, because he sees what you've been going through. He sees the pain, he sees the heartache, he sees the loneliness, and he wants you to remember that you've got the God factor. And when you've got the God factor, honey, you've got everything. And I'm not saying that it won't require work on your part, but the work will seem light. The work will seem light. The work will seem not so much of a burden, but the work will seem light. And he told me to tell all of you that the God factor is real. That the God factor is real. It's not some kind of hocus pocus thing. It's real. And he sees what you've been doing. And he sees the work, and he sees your tears, and he sees everything that you've been going through. And he wants me to tell you that you're not going through it alone. That he will give you resources if you just open your eyes to see them. And the resources he will give you are uncommon resources. He will send people into your life that you didn't even know was 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 watching you. Were watching you. You didn't even know. Like, he will give you resources. He will give you wisdom. He will give you whatever you need. All you have to do is ask. All the Lord is saying, you have not because you ask not. Some of us are afraid to ask, but never be afraid to ask the Lord first and people second. There are always people around to help. All you have to do is ask. And if that person says no, then you move on to the next person. Eventually doors will open. Never stop knocking. Just knock and then doors will be open. And sometimes the door will be open automatically, but sometimes it'll take work on his part and yours to open. Some Most times your relationship with God, although you have have the favor factor, it will still take work on your part. So he won't just, God won't just make the resume appear on someone's desk. God's not a genie. But what he will do is maybe you might be looking at a job and he'll say, send in your resume. Now, you don't have qualifications for that job, but the way you walked into that interview, they can't help but hire you. Or you may be thinking of something new, um, i- installing a new uh, position for your company, and you may not have the resources or the money to pay this person, but God may lay it on somebody's heart to bless you with the money to pay this person, or may give you an idea to get um money to pay this person, or he's going to do some wonderful things. Remember, the God factor is always with you, and the God factor is powerful. The factor is favor. The God factor is wisdom. The God factor is divine alignment. The God factor is joy. The God factor is peace. The God factor is love. And when you understand um, that you have the God factor with you, you will you will still have fear sometimes, but the fear won't stop you. Fear fear in itself is not a problem. In in my book, um, in my novel, most I'm a writer, and in my novel called The Soldier and the Stripper, my one of my male characters talks about fear, talks about healthy fear, talks about unhealthy fear. Fear is necessary, but it's not whether you have fear. It's what you do with that fear. Do you let your fear paralyze you? Or do you let your fear propel you? Fear can either do two things. Fear can either paralyze you that you can't move, or fear can propel you to your next thing, can push you and propel you. So that's what fear can do. And the God factor will help you understand that every negative thing can be turned into a God thing. Every every negative emotion, every negative what you perceive as negative can be in the with the God factor, it can be used as a tool to take you to your destiny. I think you can use everything everything's as a classroom, or you can, like, when I say classroom, I mean you can use th- things in your life to teach you, or to stop you. It's up to you. You have the God factor. When you get saved, you get His Holy Spirit, you get this whole thing. but but are you using what you have? Like, it's like salvation is like a present. It's a free present. But what good is it unless you open it? I, I had um I've had this analogy for a long time. Say if you got something for your birthday and the person said, "Oh, that's wonderful. And here's this wonderful thing that I got you." And you said, "Oh, thank you." And you took the gift and hugged the person and kissed the person, but never opened it. You just had it sit in this pretty little box forever, and you never opened it to see what it was. That's what many Christians are doing. See, they they've got the benefits of this God factor. They've got all the benefits of the Bible, all the benefits of whatever. They've got it all, but they haven't opened it. They haven't. Um, they have all these wonderful gifts inside of them and in the Bible and what God could do and whatever, but they haven't utilized it. Okay, to make it clearer, I got a gift card about 3 years ago. A, a grocery store gift card about 3 years ago. It's a really expensive grocery store. And I figured that I would use it on Tuesday. So I went, it was for $100. So I went to the grocery store, and after 3 years, I used it. Um, and it sat on my table. I have a little table in my living room, and it sat on my little table for 3 years. I never used it. But after 3 years, because I needed groceries and and I'm low on funds, I used it, and that got me some groceries. So a lot of you, um, the God Factor gift card, and you know what's in the store, you know the benefits, you know everything, you know what God is, you've heard what He does, whatever you've seen those store commercials, but you haven't cashed in your gift card. The Lord's saying, cash in your gift card. You have it. You got it in salvation. And the Lord is saying, cash in the God Factor gift card. And in card. Could you imagine if I got this gift card and said, "Oh, but I don't deserve this chicken or or hamburger. I don't deserve it, so I'm just not gonna use it. It's too expensive for me." What? You got $100 gift card and you're not gonna use it? I don't know how many times the ladies that work with me, my sister and stuff like that, said to me, "Rachel, you have a gift card for $100 and you're not using it?" I'm like, "Well, the store is too far and whatever." She's like, they're like, "Use it, use it, use it." And when I was ready to use it, it was there. It was right there, ready for me to be used. For some of you out there, the God factor gift is ready for you to be ready for you to use. You just need to to cash it in and use it. And it never gets old. You could use it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's like I think Krispy Kreme in the States and Tim Hortons here, you know, when you get a Tim Hortons a gift card, you can uh re like when the initial money is done, you can refill it. You could just refill it and refill it and refill it. I don't know if it's the same with Krispy Kreme, but I assume so. You can just refill it and refill it and refill it. And that's what the Lord is doing. He says he loads you up daily with benefits. Could you imagine being being loaded up daily with benefits? That's the God factor. The God factor says if I have God on my side, I get all these benefits. I can walk into whatever, and if it be His will, I can get it. And it's an amazing thing to realize what the God factor carries. But one thing with the God factor, people don't know what it carries because they don't read the manual, the Bible, or they they don't ask. So uh, if I was new to a country and didn't know what a gift card was, I would have to ask, or I would have to read a manual. I would have to read up about it. It's it's like it's like getting something from IKEA and trying to put it together without the instructions. People have tried to do that and it never works because even though it looks easy, you have to read the manual. Because if you don't read the manual, you could put on something wrong or or something could not be right. So a lot of people, the Bible is like an instruction manual for life. And the reason why people don't know the benefits and get so discouraged and whatever, they don't read the manual and they don't ask the maker for knowledge and instruction. And that's what happens. Because God is the author of life, He knows everything that we need, but we're not asking because we're too afraid. But He says, why are you afraid? Just ask me. I love you. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not go, going to yell at you because you've asked a question. And I know some people think don't question God, but if you don't ask a question, how are you going to know? Questions are the gateway to find out information. Questions are the gateway to find out information. And questions are a gateway to open up knowledge too. So a lot of people don't have knowledge because they don't ask questions because it makes them feel weak. But to ask questions is actually a show of strength rather than weakness, because it's it's strength to admit when you don't know something and to ask rather than to sit there in weakness, wondering and pondering and all that stuff. That's why children ask questions, because they're curious. I think it's time for the church to get curious about what God is doing and to ask questions, because questions are the gateway to knowledge and understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, and with all you're getting, get understanding. So the reason why you don't have wisdom is because you have no understanding, and because you don't have understanding is because, and the reason why you don't have understanding is because you don't ask questions. To not ask questions is weakness, in my opinion. Uh, I will see you soon. Take care, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Remember, you have the God factor. Everywhere you go, everything you do, remember when the devil says no, you could just say, "Devil, I've got the God factor." In fact, say that real quick. I've got the God factor. Every time you think you can't do something this week, say, I've got the God factor. The God factor will guide you into all truths, into all wisdom, all knowledge. That's what the God factor will do. And the God factor will propel you to do things that you didn't think you can do. The God factor will teach you what you can do and what he can do. And it will tell you what part is your job and what part is his job. Because not everything is his job. In this season, he will require you to do stuff too. And sometimes he will require you to stop doing stuff to let him carry that burden. And the God factor will give you wisdom as to which one is which. When, when you move, when you stop, when you go, when you hold back. That's what the God factor will do. It will give you wisdom for your season in life. That's what the God factor will do. Okay, guys, see you later.